Hello, my name is Cassidy Reed, and today I will be discussing the key concepts and insights I have gained throughout this course. Today I will be presenting several recommendations for Grand Canyon University's leadership team regarding talent management, employee development, technology, and legal compliance. Finally, I will discuss how I plan to apply these concepts within my organization and throughout my career. I will begin by discussing GCU's current practices for acquiring, developing, training, and leveraging human capital while highlighting some of the advantages and challenges associated with each process. To acquire candidates, managers utilize the Workday platform. This process involves ensuring a position is available or creating a new one, creating a job requisition for the position, and posting the position internally for a minimum of 3 days to allow internal candidates to apply. Then, candidate profiles are reviewed and tracked, eligible candidates are selected, and interviews are conducted until finally offers are extended and onboarding begins. One strength of this process is that there is a small incentive bonus offered to employee referrals. According to Dessler, referrals offer a huge advantage to organizations in that they tend to generate more applicants, more hires, and a higher yield ratio of hires to applicants. Referral programs tend to be more cost-effective and provide employees with a more accurate picture of job expectations. One opportunity for improvement would be to create additional incentives for employee referrals and strengthen internal talent development programs. GCU invests heavily in employee development by offering generous tuition benefits to employees and substantial tuition discounts for immediate family members. Many employees take advantage of this opportunity to earn advanced degrees that might otherwise be financially out of reach. This benefit also helps staff to better understand and communicate with the students they are enrolling and assisting. Additionally, in admissions, counselors are expected to promote yearly to the next level, with increased enrollment expectations and corresponding pay. This built-in advancement system helps establish clear expectations, encourages professional growth, and promotes employee retention. A downside of this system is the increased responsibility that accompanies each promotion. Some employees are eager to take on the additional challenges, while it can turn others away due to the pressure. Employee training and development work together to create a more knowledgeable and effective workforce. GCU provides ongoing training for employees via the Learning Center, a platform for training courses, skill development, and reference materials. Employees also participate in webinars and continuing education opportunities to ensure information remains accurate and consistent. Some teams offer mentorship to employees, wherein a new hire will be paired with a tenured employee local to their region or territory to help them acclimate to the organizational culture and learn different tips and techniques. However, these programs are not mandatory across all teams. Studies show that mandatory mentorship programs raise levels of productivity, whereas voluntary programs do not. Establishing a formal mentorship program could improve employee engagement, increase productivity, and strengthen organizational culture. Performance evaluations are a valuable tool GCU utilizes to identify employee strengths to improve the organization. Managers use the feedback from evaluations to tailor goals specific to each employee. For example, employees with specialized knowledge often become subject matter experts who support their colleagues and contribute to overall organizational success. However, leaders should also ensure that these employees receive appropriate recognition and support to prevent burnout. Focusing on the strengths of different team members is a great way to promote employee development by shifting performance conversations toward future growth opportunities instead of dwelling on previous shortcomings. There are various ways leadership could approach the assessment of employee strengths to utilize them in improving performance. A popular method of emphasizing subordinate strengths that most Fortune 500 companies use is the Gallup Strengths Finder tool. According to Gallup, teams focused on strengths are 29% more likely to retain employees for the next year, experience 23% higher employee engagement, and see an 18% increase in performance. This tool helps managers understand which domains their employees are the most oriented towards. By understanding the diverse knowledge, experiences, and abilities of employees, GCU can create stronger teams and achieve better outcomes. GCU currently maintains a human resource service center that assists employees with benefits administration, policy interpretation, leave requests, accommodations, and workers' compensation matters. However, GCU could further strengthen its HR department by expanding specialized HR roles. HR specialists can provide training for employees and staff regarding benefits-related issues and travel to see potential job candidates or attend job fairs. Professionals in HR are also responsible for designing and implementing policies that aim at improving employee well-being, and the role must balance organizational objectives with employee needs. An HR specialist would be highly relevant in a workplace such as GCU, a Christian university. GCU faculty are required to support and teach from a Christian worldview that reflects the university's doctrinal statement inspired by the Nicene Creed. From that standpoint, an HR specialist can help provide practical guidance in the classroom while complying with non-discriminatory policies. HR can also contribute to building a positive and accepting workplace culture, as there are many denominations that fall under the interdenominational umbrella encompassing GCU. They can ensure the various denominations are tolerated, respected, and handle any complaints that come in regarding unfair treatment. Alternatively, the admissions team at GCU is not required to have a Christian worldview, reflecting an even higher need for competent HR staff to provide inclusive, reasonable accommodations as needs arise. For example, if a Muslim employee needed Friday evenings off to pray, reasonable accommodations should be made to ensure they are given equal prioritization as a Christian employee requesting Sundays off for church. While some companies attempt to get by without one, HR departments are highly needed because managers often lack specialized knowledge crucial for keeping a company competitive and abiding by the law. HR specialists can help protect the organization from lawsuits related specifically to religion and mitigate some of the legal risks that religious institutions face. Here are some of my recommendations to GCU's leadership team. There is a consistent training program in place currently for admissions staff, but it's not tailored to the specific needs of various teams, such as the military team. Specialized training would include operations on a military installation, processing the different types of military tuition assistance, veteran affairs benefits, and the enrollment forms that need to be completed for different types of students. Leaders could continue to leverage different employees' expertise to train the rest of the team in these areas. For example, an enrollment counselor on an Army installation could train the rest of the military team on how the Army tuition assistance works and walk through a complete demo from the student's perspective. This would capitalize on the various strengths of team members while providing practical instruction and application. GCU's leadership should also consider expanding their HR department to include specialists with the ability to travel and recruit, train, and oversee the university's operations. My next recommendation is to continue exploring artificial intelligence solutions that can streamline repetitive administrative tasks. For example, AI tools could summarize conversations, generate notes, and organize information within the customer relationship management system, allowing enrollment counselors to devote more time to building relationships with students. This may also include implementing tools that automate tracking for sending and receiving text messages and emails on a unified database. Within the CRM system, I would also recommend upgrades that ensure student information is retained for longer periods of time. The current CRM system deletes notes on students' files after several months. However, enrollment counselors are expected to stay in touch with students indefinitely until the student expressly states a desire to cut off contact. So, having documentation of prior conversations is pertinent in maintaining a positive relationship with students and communicating accurately with their other counselors. I would also recommend annual training related to equal employment opportunity laws, Title VII, the Americans with Disabilities Act, the Family and Medical Leave Act, and Title IX. Managers especially need to be well informed on these laws to stay legally compliant. For example, leaders need to know what they can and cannot legally ask employees regarding pregnancy before and after hiring, and what time off new parents are entitled to. Providing ongoing education in these areas will help ensure ethical decision-making and reduce potential legal risks for the university. My final recommendation to university leadership is to consider implementing paid parental leave benefits. Such programs can improve employee satisfaction, strengthen retention, and demonstrate an organization's commitment to supporting employees and their families. In conclusion, this course has strengthened my understanding of employment law, employee engagement, ethical decision-making, and organizational leadership. In addition, I hope to contribute ideas to my organization that improve benefits, employee satisfaction, and organizational effectiveness. If I were in a leadership position, I would take a strength-based approach with employees to empower them and improve retention. My personal development plan includes pursuing a leadership position while continuing to develop my knowledge of employment law, organizational behavior, employee engagement, and leadership. I also plan to seek mentorship opportunities, strengthen my communication skills, and expand my understanding of workforce analytics and artificial intelligence. Ultimately, my goal is to continue growing as a leader who promotes integrity, compassion, service, and ethical decision-making within the workplace. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my presentation. I appreciate the opportunity to reflect on the valuable lessons I have learned throughout this course and to consider how these concepts can contribute to the future success of Grand Canyon University. Here are my references.